Okay, welcome everyone. This is Third Mutual Board Officers. We're here today to talk to you and give you answers to questions that you presented to us at the January 27th members meeting. We have several topics to cover here, and we're going to mention the names of people who have contributed to the questions that they want answers on as we come to a particular section. So once again, thanks for listening in, and to let you know, these are going to be posted. Our responses today are going to be posted on our website, and they'll also be coming to you in the breeze, and not this coming one, but the one after. But anyway, you can see it on our website. Okay, to start off with today, we're going to talk about the topic of insurance, and we're going to have Director Muchnick speak on this topic.
Thank you, President Parsons. Appreciate that. The insurance questions and comments addressed are from the following members: James Cook, Ernest Demba, Bonaventure Eng, Catherine Freshley, John H., Barb Hatch, Lee Lang Isaacs, Frank Kern, Margaret Klein, Art Krylowski, Vicki M., Alfred Nadine Meissner, Carol Moore, Lori Rodmaker, and Susan Smallwood. The first question has to do with the issue of insurance requirements for Third Mutual. As spelled out in Article 11 of the current CC&Rs, Third Mutual is required to insure for full replacement value of structures. Formerly, that dollar amount or figure was $700 million. However, in 2020, insurance companies demanded a reevaluation because there had not been one for 20 years. The current evaluation for Third Mutual is $1.6 billion. An insurance task force is now in place working on our insurance needs and costs. An insurance update is presented at each board meeting. Until 2020, the insurance companies, mainly Travelers, were satisfied with the evaluation used by the village. Last year, Travelers, which insures the primary level, the first level, $50 million for the village, indicated that they, Travelers, would not continuing to insure the Third Mutual without a new independent evaluation. So that's what happened, and that's why we had to have the evaluation, and that's one of the main reasons that contributed to the increased cost or premiums for our insurance for this year. The next issue has to do with what is referred to as probable maximum loss, PML. Currently, the PML, probable maximum loss multiplier, for Third Mutual is $145 million. That figure is based on the total original insurance evaluation of $700 million and is now considered insufficient by the vast majority of our lenders, nor is it considered appropriate by the federal agencies that purchase most of the loans. One major catastrophe could easily cost $500 to $700 million. Insuring for some multiplier of the PML would work only with a sufficiently large multiplier. Even 1 or 2 times the current PML multiplier would leave us vastly uninsured. We also had a question about the role of attorneys in the process of creating the new CC&Rs. Please understand, the CC&Rs stipulate we must insure for 100% replacement cost, which has absolutely nothing to do with either current attorneys or past attorneys. Insurance costs. The total premium cost for all insurances Third Mutual is responsible for obtaining and maintaining in 2021 is $4.9 million. The disaster fund, which is not a reserve fund, can and was used to help underwrite the costs of the increased premiums for this year and this year only. For 2021, approximately $2.8 million is being used from the disaster fund to help cover insurance premiums. The disaster fund cannot continue to underwrite insurance premiums for more than this single year. Special assessments for insurance are not anticipated. There is a separate line item for insurance in the budget. The Third Mutual Board understood the impact of the anticipated rising insurance premium last year and sought to partially offset the cost by raising the HOA by $20 per manor per month. While the board was aware there would be other rising costs, such as outside services and employee compensation, that would have to be factored into the budget for 2021, the third board made a conscious decision not to raise the monthly HOA fee by more than the $20. While the vast majority of the $20 increase is going to the increased cost of insurance premiums, with the balance coming this year from the disaster fund, the budget for 2021 also reflects increases in these other areas. The other option for the third mutual would have been to reduce or curtail services if the HOA dues were not increased. The third mutual cannot use legally mandated reserves to pay for insurance. Insurance costs fluctuate, and we are currently in negotiations with our new insurance broker in an attempt to try to control them as much as possible. The issue of replacement cost was another issue that was raised by one of the members during our meeting. Understand, please, that replacement cost is the actual cost to replace an item or structure at its pre-loss condition and upgraded to meet current codes. The replacement cost is different from the sale price, which relates to market value. Market value helps determine the sale price of the manor. All right. Another issue was the relationship of the lender to the cost of thirds insurance. Please understand that no single lender drives the cost of thirds insurance. Another question, shared cost of manors. At this time, there are no plans to change the current shared cost method of assessments on manors to a model based on the square foot size of manors. Now to address the issue of HO6 policies and owner responsibility. Owners are strongly urged to protect themselves and their property that is not covered by the mutual with an HO6 insurance policy. Many lenders, if you have a loan, require such a policy. All homeowners, we encourage, should contact their insurance agent for guidance on this issue. Now addressing FEMA. We cannot get out from under the thumb of 100% replacement cost of the FEMA government ruling. Fannie Mae will accept a master insurance policy as demonstrated satisfaction of its insurance requirements for the units if the project's legal documents allow for master insurance policies to cover both the individual units and the common elements, which ours does. And finally, members suggested that there would be alternative ways to insure. I'd like to list a few of them and give our response to that. One member said, what about insuring the sub-mutuals individually? Unfortunately, we looked into that, and that would be far too costly, not only for those individual mutuals, but for us in general. Another person commented, partner with other communities to form a self-insurance cooperative. At this time, while there's been no formal research on this subject, partnering with other communities. However, initial information suggests this would not be an option because we do not have sufficient reserve funds to participate in such an endeavor. Another question came about the issue of FEMA helpful in time of a major catastrophe, and we can tell you that we are looking into that to see what kind of help might be possible from FEMA should that occur. And finally, there's been a request to address insurance separately and another vote that we would undertake to alter the CC&Rs, just the insurance alone. This is a possibility, but at this moment in time, the board is not considering that. That addresses all the questions related to insurance. Thank you for your patience in waiting for our answers. I turn it back over to you, President Parsons.
Thank you, Director Mishnak. Now to talk to us about the maintenance questions is Director Ralph Engdahl. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. This is really in response to specific questions by Dave Current, Ernest Demba, Frank Kern, Frankie Maryland, Diane Meadows, and Carolyn Pardo. Regarding responsibilities for maintenance, We have seen no or foreseen no changes or intended no changes in maintenance responsibility. Nothing such has been proposed. The initial matrix that was attached to the CC&Rs was found to contain an error. We've corrected that, and there results in no change from what it was before. The matrix was put together mainly to help everybody understand the requirements. The list was intended to clarify those requirements of what responsibilities belonged to the mutual as opposed to those belonging to an owner. No such comprehensive listing or table previously existed. When the errors were identified, a new matrix was created to correct those errors. The association basically maintains the structure, the plumbing, the landscape, security, certain amenities, and so forth. The owners are always completely responsible for any and all alterations or changes to the original construction of the manor. For example, owners are responsible for new doors, doorbells, screen doors, typical maintenance items like that. Also changes like solar tubes, skylights, and to name a few of those things. There is a maintenance charge for certain items that were not covered by the mutual, that if you want to make the changes, you can arrange with mutual to use the available option for chargeable services. And even those values do not change just because an owner changes. They may change because of other reasons like costs and costs of living, but they don't change just because there is a change in ownership of the mutual. One of the examples you might use that chargeable service fee for is changing out a hot water heater, which is generally the owner's responsibility, but you can have the service done as a chargeable service. I hope that covers all the questions. Steve?
Okay, thank you very much. I'll be covering the topic of leasing, and this is in response to questions from Leah, Carmi, James Cook, Art Krylovisky, Frankie Maryland, Carol Moore, and Doris Silva. First thing is I'd like to talk about the 30% lease cap. In our proposed CC&Rs, third board sought to have a 2-year waiting period for lessees when investors were buying in here. On September 28th, 2020, at about the same time the proposed CC&Rs were on their way to the printers, the state legislature redefined leasing waiting periods by passing AB 3182, making the proposed lease change a moot point. That limit endangers the ability of prospective residents to obtain mortgages when the cap on rentals is reached. AB 3182 requires a minimum lease of 30 days, which unfortunately allows for short-term rentals. The 30% lease cap in place since 2008 would require a vote by the membership to change. A leasing change is not relevant to insurance at this time. Next, another question was brought up about leasing policy. Third Mutual's leasing policy is found on the village website at lagunawoodsvillage.com under Third Mutual and is included in the documents section. You can call resident services at 949-597-4600 to request a copy of the lease policy if you cannot retrieve it from the website. Leasing applications are handled in the resales department at VMS. So if you have any questions about that, here's some sources you can go to. Okay, next, speaking on communication questions is Director Annie McCary.
Thank you, President Parsons. The communication questions and comments addressed for the following members: Darlene Bacchus, Andrea and James French, Rhoda Harris, Nathaniel, Kitty Platt, Penny Rice, and Jean Selner. The board and VMS continually work on improving services, including callbacks. The board will provide advanced information prior to bringing forward any proposed changes to the CC&Rs. A request by a resident real estate agent to form a committee to get feedback regarding real estate changes has been given to the VMS board for consideration. Some of the difficulties related to communication include the COVID-19 restrictions on town hall type meetings. There was also limitations on available time slots on TV6 for opposition responses. One member who was in opposition to the proposed changes wrote letters to membership stating, opposition was not provided equal opportunity under Civil Code 5821. The board believes the member was given equal opportunity. Some additional general membership comments and suggestions. Communication via computer was mentioned as a problem for those unable to receive communication via the internet. The board reaches out to those members via regular mail and TV6. One member's suggestion was that everyone needs education. Yes, and it is ongoing via committee meetings. Another commented on the long campaign being drawn out with the process misunderstood. While we understand the urgency to tell our members was paramount, and it did drive our actions. Another suggestion was to have more open meetings. The board believes that need was addressed as much as possible given the constraints imposed by COVID-19, with member participation in third committee and Zoom meetings. Another member stated we needed to work together. And also, third board needs to form a task force to formulate governing documents. It seems like we are dissembling everything as if we had plenty of money to run our affairs. We note your suggestion. And the final comment from one member asked, why is Article 11 of the CC&Rs, which has been in place since 1988, now interpreted differently? The answer cannot be given without the question explaining exactly what part of Article 11 this member feels that they are being interpreted differently. Thank you, President Parsons.
Thank you, Director McCary. Okay, and on the topic of additional comments and suggestions, Director Jarrett will address these.
Hello, thank you, President Parsons. The following members asked questions and made comments, and they are Darlene Bacchus, Ed Cowan, Layling Isaacs, Frankie Maryland, Nadine Miner, Vicki M., Alfred and Nadine Mickner, Carol Moore, Nathaniel, Carolyn Pardo, Karen Shore, and Susan Smallwood. One question posed inquired why there was only one yes and one no on the voting boxes on the ballot. Third didn't see the need for any other selection as the topics were interrelated. One comment stated, the residents should have the right to vote on the use of common area. If such a vote were taken, it would need to be included in the CC&Rs. Another member stated, I'd like you to send proposals to the community for comments prior to formalizing a vote. Voter apathy proved to be a problem which Third Board is studying with the idea of improving upon voter participation in the future. The method of shared cost is used in Third Mutual, so assessments on manors are all the same regardless of the size of a manor. At this time, there are no plans to change the current shared cost method of assessments on manors to a model based on the square foot size of a manor. Closed and open meetings need a forum if a vote is to take place. Also, Third Mutual has never been FHA certified. That was to answer another member's question. Another question was, why rewrite the CC&Rs? Well, because they were antiquated and need updated for the 21st century. This is a living document. Could changes have been redlined? No, the proposed CCNRs represented a whole new document written from the ground up. Hence, no option for a red line existed. One member stated that consolidation of HOAs is unnecessary. Why consolidate the mutuals? Well, the board felt that the consolidation of HOAs was necessary. It would not make sense to divide the 8 different housing types due to the added expense, administrative time, and additional employees needed for staff to discharge their duties under this governance model. A suggestion was made to form an ACSC committee for every HOA. Again, there is not enough staff, board member time, or scheduling capacity to accommodate and support this suggestion. All comments were appreciated and are being taken into consideration. Thank you, President Parsons. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. And once again, we do thank you for your questions, comments, and we hope that we've been able to answer them for you. If you have any other clarifications you need, just let us know. And once again, what we said today is available to you on our website. So you can go to Third Mutual, look under documents, and hear and see the responses that we gave you today. So once again, thank you for your comments, your questions, and we hope we've answered your all your comments, questions, and have a good day and stay safe. Goodbye.